It's brought to you by Commando Gaming Strategic Gaming, brought to you live on twitch.tv. At Commando Gaming 1, we're continuing our series on Battletech Advanced. We are actually waiting for the time frame to advance for the flashpoints that will continue the heavy metal DLC story. So we're actually just waiting for events to trigger. I could fly around back and forth, but what would be the fun of that? So we've gone to a planet, so let's see if there's some salvageable, some missions on this planet that will give us some decent salvage. So let's take a look at that. We got a defend base, we've got a capture base. I'd love to just fly around, but we probably should engage in a mission to get some financial support for our next move. So this is a defend the base mission. Gives us a chance to check out our new mechs. Yes, they are very overpowered. We have the Linesman and the Highlander. Let's see. I'm definitely going to put a Missile Master in the Highlander here. So let's focus in on mechs that are going to give us the maximum firepower, because this is a defend the base mission. Hopefully we can push through this relatively quickly. Let's see, we'll put our commander in the Orion because he has an affinity for it. Actually, you should put the commander in the Highlander, so he builds up an affinity for that. Andre can go in the Death from Above mech. Let's see, we'll put... I would like to take our headshot artist here, so we can hopefully get some headshots and get some decent salvage. So we'll take the Linesman, the Highlander, Fire Support Orion, our Sniper, and again we're going to focus on firepower here and not necessarily let's see, not necessarily worrying about speed in this scenario. Let's see, we're going to take pilots we're trying to level up. So we'll take T-Bone in the Shadowhawk. And we'll take Manticore, who we're trying to level up for Thomas. So those should give us plenty of firepower to get through a 3-skull defend the base mission, hopefully relatively quickly with some salvage. And then we'll probably go on a travel to kill some time. One thing about these flashpoints, the heavy metal DLC in particular, if you want to get through it as quickly as possible, you're going to want to save up a large amount of C-bills so you don't have to do any side missions if you just want to go through the DLC as quickly as possible. I think when I did it originally, way back in the day, I think I saved up 10 million in C-bills before I went all the way across to try to complete the DLC. That's probably about right, 8 to 10 million C-bills if you want to get through the flashpoints quickly and not have to do any side missions. In this case, we are doing some side missions for some salvage. Alright, we got to defend the base mission here. This is an okayish defend the base map. Especially with the firepower that we have here. So first enemy force looks like it's coming from here. There could be some additional enemies. Oh, okay. So we're being supported by mechs here. These mechs here are bringing the codes to activate the turrets. Good morning, Big Fluffy. How's it going? We're just playing a mission here while we wait for time to pass and we can continue the Heavy Metal DLC flashpoints. I heard there's some good toys available out here. I heard that from Goggles, so we're definitely gonna see what we can find. Alright, let's push out on these enemies. See what we're up against here. Got a Centurion, a 75 tonner, a 70 tonner, and a 50 tonner. Still waking up and get ready for work. Yeah, that's me as well. This is actually how I get ready for work in the mornings. Gets my brain going before the start of the day. Nothing like a little strategy to get the brain cells cooking. Alright. Alright, so we're going to have to place our strategic resources, which is our LRM boat and our artillery, in a central location so they can support against the enemy in multiple rounds. Because we're going to have the enemy coming from around the compass here. Alright, and we'll push forward with our shorter range weapons, our mechs, to start working on this enemy force that's out there. Fortunately, they're moving towards us. Okay, we got an enforcer. Our assault should make quick work of this mission. So we'll push up our linesman and our Highlander. Hopefully these friendly mechs will help us defend the parts of the map that we're not currently defending right now. Oh, Bloody Nose was testing VTOLs, huh? Alright, well, I mean, here's the thing. So, VTOLs are actually lore. The big thing for me is in Rogue Tech. In Rogue Tech, they went overboard with the VTOLs, and VTOLs became a every episode thing, whereas I think VTOLs should be an isolated, occasional thing. Because it's not like every mech company had a company of VTOLs in support of it. So I'm hoping if Bloody Doves does go down the VTOL road, it becomes a occasional thing, not a every mission thing, because VTOLs they could get pretty annoying. Pretty annoying. Oh, so it was a special type of VTOL that would be rare. Ooh, this is an Avatar. This is nice salvage, especially since it has that C3 master coordinating component. Let's go ahead and hit it with some Inferno. Start warming up the enemy here. Ooh, that Enforcer might not have its cannon in operation. I don't know why it wouldn't have fired there. Alright, let's put our sniper in the best position here. It's going to be another round before he can do some sniping. Oh, we got an Orion and an Avatar. So the Orion and the Avatar are our best sources of salvage so far. So Big Fluffy, that interests me. That's really cool. I'm probably going to try to watch the play-by-play. I used to be able to watch Bloody Doves a lot more. Back in the day, but I've been extremely busy with work right now, and unfortunately Bloody Dove streams right where I'm transitioning from the end of work. So the first hour of his stream, hour and a half of his stream, I'm still at work, and then the second half of the stream I'm usually doing all the things that we have to do to keep our households together, chores, transportation of little human beings, errands, things of that nature. So it's been hard for me to watch Bloody Doves. I'm there with him in spirit, but ever since I moved, it's been very hard for me to actually consistently tune in and watch Bloody Doves, which makes me sad because I do really enjoy it. All right, let's put some fast cam on that Orion. Trying to maximize some salvage here. A rigid dirigible, a 75-ton rigid dirigible. That sounds to me, Thomas, and we were just talking about this before you came on. That sounds to me like it's just a big floating target. Does it have high evasion? Or is it just a big floating target? Because, that was one of the things that made VTOLs a curse and a blessing. Is VTOLs were extremely evasive, which made them hard to get rid of in a timely fashion. Despite their small size, it took a long time to get rid of. Okay, 1,000 armor. Rocket launcher, LERM boat. Alright, so a LERM rocket launcher or LERM boat with a ton of armor, with 1,000K of armor. Sounds a lot like a flying tank. So, hey, I'm always interested in what Bloody Doves experiments with. He never steers us wrong with this mod, and I really value everything that he does to try to make it as solid as possible when he adds something to the mod. Oh, there goes the Avatar. 4 parts, nice. So, one thing I would kind of consider a slight negative about Rogue Tech is Rogue Tech had a tendency to just kind of throw stuff in without proper testing, and then it became a headache. But I feel like I have to go after this Orion. It looks like I feel like Bloody Doves does a much better job of testing stuff before he throws it into the game. See, it was buggy last night. So, in my experience, Rogue Tech is more likely just to throw the stuff out there, and if it's buggy, it can take 6 months to a year for it to be fixed. Bloody Doves and his team does a much better job of quality control, and they do a lot of testing before they shove it into the code. And I really appreciate that. And that's a big part of why BattleTech Advanced is one of the more stable mods, because I feel like they do an amazing job of testing things before they just shove it out into the community. Also makes for great streams for him. He's one of my favorite streamers to watch, because he's showing us the next version of what we're playing now. So that's really cool for a mod developer to give us that kind of a sneak peek of what they're doing. And it's very rare, so we're very fortunate to have that. But I do like the fact that he actually tests stuff before they just shove it in. Which some mods will just throw the stuff in and then sort it out later. Cool. So he was doing some development on the fly, is what you're telling me, which is really cool. You know, there are some, most mod developers are very secretive about what they do. Bloody Doves is a very open developer. He obviously doesn't tell us everything that he does. Yeah, that enforcer does not have its AC. Some developers are still doing that now. Okay. Yeah. I mean, you got to remember, he's a mod developer, not a game developer. I would say mod developers are starting to become more open, but game developers still keep things very close to the vest. The blimp did break the game pretty hard at first. Yeah, so that's a good example of some quality control. Like I said, in my experience, some mods would just say, "Hey, this looks cool. Let's dump it in there and see what happens." So, but Bloody Doves does an amazing job of putting this mod together. I would say that if you're interested in supporting, yeah, see, this enforcer just has that medium laser. It's not much of a threat. If you're really interested in supporting Bloody Doves and his work, try to join his Patreon, because 100% of his Patreon money goes to him. If you give money to Twitch, he only gets a small portion of that. So when you tip him or you subscribe to him, now I'm not saying you shouldn't subscribe to his channel, but what I'm saying is, if you have the money to subscribe to his channel and do Patreon, do that. If you only have the money to either support him with Patreon or a subscription, I would suggest that you do the Patreon, because he actually gets more money that way, if that makes sense to you. I do both, and I'm very happy to support Bloody Doves with Patreon. I don't go on it as much as I'd like to because I'm really busy, but I know that by donating to his Patreon, I'm helping his work, and he's giving us additional stuff as a benefit of that funding. All right, Manticore, our new hero that was put in our barracks by Thomas. Let's see if he can work through this enforcer quickly here. We took a lot of firepower on this mission just because I want to push through this mission relatively quickly and get a little bit of salvage. And then I want to travel and try to trigger the next flashpoint instance. So that's what I'm trying to do here. Plus we're having fun testing out our new toys here. Yeah, I mean, I like how he does do the preview. I agree completely. Um, and that's one of the reasons that he is extremely watchable, because he's providing something that I can't provide. I can't give you a preview what's going to happen an update ahead of time, but he can. So that's really cool. Big supporters, and that's one of the reasons. I used to stream way back in the day. I used to stream in the afternoon as well. But I found I was streaming against Bloody Doves, and I didn't feel like that was the right thing to do, because I think, number one, Bloody Doves is one heck of a streamer, and number two, supporting Bloody Doves supports a game that I love. So why would I stream against him and take away some of his eyeballs? So that's why. Now, for example, today, he is playing RPGs. He plays RPGs on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So if I have a chance today, I might do an extra stream this afternoon, because I wouldn't be streaming against him playing BTA. I would be streaming against him playing something else. So I feel like that's those people that are interested in watching him play his RPG are going to watch him regardless of what I do. But people who like Battletech might not watch his stream, and they might watch my stream instead, because they are interested in watching Battletech and not RPGs, because there's people that don't like RPGs. All right, so we got an Assassin, Centurion, an Ion. I'd love to put an Ion together, and a Crusader. So many good choices up here. Let's get some sniper artillery up there on top of the hill. That's going to give heat to everybody up on the hill. So this is an area effect weapon. Snipers are not just hitting one target. It's about impacting a broad area. They're a strategic resource. So you have to think of them as a strategic resource. And that's why I do some of the things that I do, because I'm trying to use my strategic resources like sniper artillery, fast cam, etc., that have an impact over the whole map. Use those as efficiently as possible to be a force multiplier. That's basic military strategy. So let's go for a headshot on this Crusader here. See if we can maximize salvage. I'd love to get a Crusader put together or an Ion put together on this mission. You have 3 full bays of mechs. That's pretty good. I've got 2.5 right now. So one word of caution, Thomas. When you're stocking up your mech bay, right, you got to think about making sure that all the mechs in your mech bay have different roles, so you can maximize the flexibility of what you have in the mech bay. It's not just, hey, I'm going to get as many big stompy mechs with as much tonnage as possible in the mech bay, because then you have what, 10 Atlases, or you have all assaults, and that doesn't really help you. So yeah, and it also costs you a lot of money too. So a good way of thinking about it, if you're going to have 3 mech bays, what I would do is I would have eventually you want to have a row of assaults, a row of heavies, and then a mixed row of mediums and lights. So that way you've got a broad spectrum of weapons, and then you're constantly putting the best components in all of those mechs. So it gives you a ton of flexibility. Having 3 rows of assaults might look cool, and it might make you rich as a mech company, but it's not going to be very useful for you for certain missions that require certain mechs. He knows, but he wants to just walk 8 atlases across the field and crush everything. Well, you could do that. You can definitely do that. I think you'll get bored, to be honest. I do think you would get bored if you did that all the time. You know, I mean, I find that heavies, mediums, and lights are the most interesting strategically resources to use. Assaults are kind of... I mean, don't get me wrong, I love using my stompy assaults, but it's like, okay, you just have more things to stomp things with. You don't have a better mousetrap, you just have more mousetraps. So I really enjoy trying to make the most of my resources here. All right, let's see. Let's maximize salvage here. Big Fluffy, you don't use lights at all, even as a scout? Well, keep in mind, my scouts right now are wraiths, which are mediums. So technically, I'm not using lights either, but I'm using mediums that can fill the role of lights. So some good examples of that are Firestarter Omnis, Wraiths, and other mediums that can fill the roles of lights, primarily as scouts and flankers. So that's what I mean by quote-unquote lights. You don't have to have lights. You could have, if you have 3 mech bays, right? You could do a mech bay of assaults, you can do a mech bay of heavies, and a mech bay of mediums, and they could fill the roles of the lights just fine if they're high quality mediums. So that's kind of what I mean. So in a perfect world, I would have assaults, heavies, and mediums, but half of the mediums at least are focused on doing scouting and flanking. Yeah, Black Lanterns are very good scouts. Absolutely right. But if you just have 3 mech bays of assaults, that's not really going to get you anywhere. Yeah, assassins work too. For sure. Assassins are a little light on firepower in my opinion, but they work fine. You know, because one of the things, especially people who are transitioning from Battletech to mods, and I was guilty of this myself when I started, think, oh, in Battletech, you just went up in tonnage and then you stayed there and that was all you did. So in Battletech, it was not unusual for you to just drop 4 assaults and just barrel across the map. But with modded Battletech, you're much better off having a mixed force because it gives you more flexibility. So a lot of people, and again, I was guilty of this myself, when I started playing modded Battletech, my mindset was, well, bigger is always better, and that's certainly not the case. Let's see, I want to go after the Centurion. I know it's not the best from a weapons efficiency, but I just don't want the Centurion to get in our flank. So I'm going to go after the Centurion. Thomas says he has 3 mediums and 1 assault. ER large and 24 Shriek SRMs is a very deadly scout lanner. Yep, exactly. I agree. The Black Lanner is a great assault, or a great scout. So, there's so many ways to skin the cat here, and I'm not going to tell you how to set up your company, because at the end of the day, it's going to be what you want it to be. But I'm just telling you from my experience, you want to have mechs in all tonnage brackets. Hey, Goggles, thanks for stopping by. I think you're just in time for your namesake to start sniping, actually. But I think you're bigger. You have to, when you transition from BattleTech the game to modded BattleTech, you have to get rid of the mindset that bigger is always better. It's the components that you put in your mechs that make the difference, not the tonnage. So, especially once you get some clan technology, it's all about the components. It's all about the components, not the tonnage. Because if you go stomping into clan technology, in the clan territory, and you think, well, I've got assaults, and those clanners only have mediums and lights, if you don't take it seriously, they will wreck you, because they have the firepower to really ruin your day in those tiny little machines. So that's one of the biggest mistakes I've seen. When people go to clan space, they overestimate how awesome they are, and then they get wrecked. That's definitely a good Lance Thomas. Mr. Moon Prime has a really good point. He says BTA does a great job of making all weight classes super viable in even the very difficult missions. That's absolutely true. And Mr. Moon Prime, I don't know if I've seen you in chat before, so thank you for joining us. If you have, then my mistake, or you may have come in when my partner IMG was streaming. But great to see you here. I'm always happy to see someone that I haven't seen before. And I would remind everybody that if you're new to the channel, please give us a follow, because you're entered into a Funko Pop giveaway simply by giving us a follow. Now, the more you interact with our channel, the better your chances to win. I'm not going to lie. The more you chat with us, the more streams you visit, the more channel points you have, are all factors into whether you win the Funko Pop. Sometimes I lurk in your streams after work. You work graveyard. Oh, okay. Thank you, Mr. Moon Prime. Please, when the spirit moves you, please chime in when you're lurking. Ooh, headshot on an ion, which is great. That's great salvage. I'm happy about that. We only got 3 salvageable parts because it already had damage. I think I actually got enough parts to put together an ion, though. Let's see. Darker design. You kind of touch on my main issue with the clan in BattleTech. They're an army of Mary Sue's piloting Deus Ex Machinas, but I'm probably an outlier. Well, darker design. So, yeah, Thomas, of course spent points count. Absolutely. I'm just talking about in general, the more you engage in our channel, the more likely you are to win. Because what I do is I actually keep an Excel spreadsheet. And at the end of the streams, I keep a rough estimate of who was the most involved, and then I give you extra chances to win when I do the random draw for the Funko Pop. So theoretically, you can win the Funko Pop just with a follow, but keep in mind that we have over 4,000 follows. So your chance is 1 in 4,000. But let's say you visit our streams twice a day, right? Twice a day. So that means you get 3 entries for every 4,000. So it definitely increases your chances the more that you engage with our channel. And that's very similar to how most YouTubers handle their giveaways, is they do the same thing. They say, okay, the more involved you are, the more chances that you're going to have to win. And that just makes sense, right? Because the whole reason to have giveaways is to spawn engagement. And that's why we have giveaways, is to get people involved and interactive. So the more... Ooh, Jaggermech. I do have a special place. Ooh, this Jaggermech has Ultra Cannon 5s. Oh, that's a very interesting Jaggermech there. Alright, let's start working on the armor on that Jaggermech. I don't want to kill it at long range because I'd like to get a couple headshots at it, but I already have so much salvage right now, I don't know if I would select those Jaggermech parts, but it would be good to have them in the random draw. Let's see. Andre says, how are your regular days? I'm looking at my concept art in the Russian contest with other concept arts. They are almost girls, and I'm getting frustrated because I see my artwork is mostly the weakest one, kind of frustrating about it. So Andre, do your... let's see. So Andre, are the girls drawing the same things? Because I'm just curious about whether, if the girls you're competing against are drawing different things and they're having more success, maybe that tells you that you should start looking at different types of art. If you want to compete with them. It feels like your art is definitely in the RPG Dungeons and Dragons space, and if they're doing things that are more mainstream, that might be why they're having more success. So maybe you need to branch out in your art and look at different techniques and different subjects for your art. I am still waiting for our Irby. You said you were going to make us an Irby as well. I'd love to see you put together an Irby and put it in the art gallery, because we could use some channel art for sure. A salad was eaten on the stream last night for those who missed it. Was that the Divinity 2 stream? Was there a salad that was being eaten? Alright. Okay, linesman, why don't you just finish off the Centurion? I don't want the Centurion to get into our flank. Although he doesn't have any weapons left, so he can't really do too much to us, can he? Alright, let's just finish off the Centurion anyways. Nice hits there. Hey Simmons, thank you for stopping by. So Andre, you might want to look at some different art styles. You know, it's if you're doing like medieval RPG style art and everybody else is doing, I don't know, pictures of the countryside, then your art is going to be perceived as being different than everybody else. So He did a separate stream just to eat his salad? Okay. Alright. Well, do we know it was really a salad? It feels to me... It feels to me like... that might have been a CGI salad. I wouldn't put it past IMG to use a digitally created salad to avoid eating a real salad. So I'm suspicious about the fact that he did a whole stream just about eating a salad. Xylist A, you have a good point. You have to know your audience, especially when it comes to art. So art is one of the most subjective things in the world. There's no question about it. So what some people perceive as beautiful, other people perceive as ugly. So if you feel like these girls that you're competing against, Andre, are doing different subjects and they're having more success, it could just be that you look like the outlier, right? If everyone else is doing flowers and countryside or puppies and you're doing RPG warriors with swords, while your warriors with swords might be cool and interesting, they're kind of looked like as the outlier. Like if everybody else is doing one thing and you're doing the other, then it definitely puts you in a situation where you are different than everyone else, and on a certain level that probably puts you at a disadvantage with your artwork. Let's put some heat on that Jagger mech using that strategic resource. You heard the lettuce crunch. Well, you know what? That could be special effects. I'm telling you, IMG would go through a lot not to eat a salad. I'm pretty sure. I'm just joking, of course. I'm sure he ate the salad. It took him 3 weeks to eat the salad, but he did eat the salad. All right. Okay. I still would like to put a Crusader together. It's funny when I have a good mission where there's so much salvage. It's like, ooh, I'd like that. I'd like that. I'd like that. So the ideal situation on a mission is you destroy the mechs that you don't want with center torso strikes, so you only get one piece. The mechs that you want, you destroy by headshots or taking apart their legs, so you get as many parts as possible, and that increases the chance over time that you'll put more mechs together that you want. So I'm taking that Crusader apart with headshots, even though I might just get one or two pieces, but eventually, if I get enough one or two pieces, eventually that means I'll get extra mechs. So destroy the mechs that you don't want by killing the center torso. The mechs that you want, go for the head or take off the legs, and you're going to maximize your salvage that you want and minimize the garbage. Now, vehicles are an exception because, of course, you can't... Oh, that allied Oswar just overheated himself to death, which is hilarious. Like, why would you do that? We're winning this fight. There's no reason for you to overload your core when we're easily winning this fight right now. It's not even close. This is just an opportunity for salvage. Now, selfishly, that Oswar should show up in salvage, so that helps me. Although I don't really want Oswars. Alright, that Crusader is now starting up again. Alright, let's push up. Alright, let's see if we can just clear this goblin off the board here. So we could do follow the leader here. Maximize our chances of finishing off that goblin. Because if some of our missiles hit, all of the missiles hit. That's the beauty of follow the leader. Ooh, you lost owning a stalker by running out of funds in transit. So what happened? Did you have to do a reload, Thomas? Because that sucks. Before you travel, always make sure you have enough money. So one of the things I always do before I travel is I go to the store, and if my money's tight, I go to the store and I sell everything I can, and then I buy everything at that store that would have value before I leave the planet to make sure I don't have that problem. Yeah, even if you have to sell partial mechs, you have to make sure you have enough money to make your transition. That's very painful. And let's be real, okay? It's happened to everybody who's played this game. You've miscalculated and you end up going bankrupt and you have to load a save. It happens to everybody. You know, I find the streamers that are honest with their fallibility are the best streamers. Okay, I will be the first to admit I screw up all the time, and that's okay. I do feel that over time I get better and better at this game, but I still make stupid mistakes. Everybody makes stupid mistakes. But there are some streamers, or actually mainly it's people on YouTube, because streamers don't do this as much. But there are some people on YouTube, you watch their videos and they never lose ever. Like, they never make any mistakes. And a lot of that is on YouTube is people that are editing the heck out of their content to make themselves look like they are infallible, which is not the case. I misadded when starting the engineering job in transit. Yeah, that happens. That happens to all of us. That's happened to me many times, Thomas. So one of the things you'll see, as I was saying, in YouTube is if you watch some streamers, their playing is flawless. I guarantee you, those are YouTubers that heavily edit their content to give the impression that they are perfect gamers. It's not possible. So I'm very real with you guys. If I screw up, I screw up. If I and I do same thing when I just do YouTube videos. I don't edit. I don't spend hours saying, "Oh, I screwed that up. Let me edit that out." Some YouTubers do that sort of thing, but I think a genuine, honest streamer that you can relate to and say, "Hey, he just made the same mistake I made 6 missions ago." You know, I think that is a better viewing experience than somebody who modifies their streams or YouTube to only show perfect scenarios. And I've actually seen some Twitch streamers who, and I'm not going to name who, they'll do a YouTube channel and then they'll stream live the results of that YouTube video as if they're playing live, and then they just give commentary on the gameplay as if they're doing it live. I have seen streamers do that before. So, you know, that's something that definitely does happen. Is some people are more focused on giving the illusion that there's some amazing gamers instead of just giving you a true, legitimate stream. Again, that happens more on YouTube. Where have you seen some doozies? Are you talking about YouTubers who heavily modify their content? I don't want to call anybody out, but there are people who do that. Oh, you've seen me with some doozies, some crazy thing. You know, sometimes when you see me get my ass handed to me, usually it's when the enemy throws a whole bunch of stuff that's beyond the skull level of the mission, and I get overwhelmed. And that would have happened to anybody. But, you know, do I make mistakes? Absolutely, I do. And I'm not going to lie. All right, so here's a good example. So I've got my sniper here. I don't want I could go for the headshot, but I don't want parts of a Centurion. So we're going to go for the center torso to make sure we get a kill that minimizes the parts of salvage that we have in the mech bay. And that might mean I get an extra Charger part or an extra Jagger mech part that I wouldn't have gotten because I got stuck with the Centurion part. So that's where it all comes into play. Alright, what do we got here? Alright, so we still have an Assassin and Manticore. And there's still that Jagger mech there. Should theoretically take out the Manticore first. It's the much more dangerous opponent here. So we'll do some follow the leader. Follow the leader is really good against vehicles because they have minimal evasion. Alright. Okay. Let's see. Mr. Moon Prime says, I've won missions, but at serious cost, like 2.5 Skull Recovery mission versus Liao. They brought a Highlander, Avatar Orion, and Longbow, plus a heavy vehicle lance with mortars. Lost a light mech and a medium. Sounds like you got off pretty well there. Because that is an example of where you were probably facing a mission that's much closer to 5 skulls, but you were told it was only 2.5. So sometimes, because I try to take a lance that equals the skull set, sometimes I fail because I'm taking lighter mechs than I have in the mech bay because I'm trying to balance the difficulty of the mission with the mechs that I take. So when you get thrown a much higher level mission than you expect, that's where you can get really messed up. You'll drop all the work these girls do and you'll see it. Sure, if I don't want you posting someone else's work that's going to get us in trouble, but if it's publicly posted work, Andre, I'll be happy to take a look at that and see. But I think if your judges are used to seeing flowers and countrysides and doggies or cats, and then you send up a evil bird warrior, then the girls are probably going to be seen as more mainstream, and you're going to be seen as an outlier in these contests. You know, on a second note, Andre, if you're spending a lot of time competing against girls, maybe you should get to know the girls, if you know what I mean. It might be a good opportunity for you to meet some women that might be interesting to you. That's one of the benefits of being involved in activities that women are kind of geared towards. If you're interested in meeting women, that's your avenue. So here in the United States, before COVID, we had a lot of things set up in the United States is Meetup. It's an app where you can actually meet people who have common interests. And that's a common thing to do for men, is to actually do things that interest women if they're interested in meeting women. So, hey, if you have a lot of women that are interested in art, that might be an opportunity for you. I'm just saying. It probably flexed up. Yeah, I'm extremely cautious that mission, but sometimes you get bad RNG. Yeah, sometimes the missions become much more difficult because of that RNG modifier. So you definitely want to... that's why I try to take slightly more tonnage than I think I need for a mission, to try to give me a chance if they completely overwhelm me with difficulty. But even then, it's not perfect. I would say my biggest failure for a mech commander is I need to do a better job of saying, you know what, this thing is stacked against me. We're just going to withdraw, and that's okay. And that's one thing that I'm guilty of, and everybody should try to do more of, is if you're outnumbered and your damage is going to be much higher than the benefit of completing the mission, just withdraw. It's not a big deal. It doesn't help. It doesn't hurt your reputation that much if you occasionally withdraw. Ooh, that Jaggermech overheated. All right, all targets eliminated. Mission successful. That was kind of a long mission. But base defense usually is long. All right. I don't think we took any damage on that mission. So we have avatar parts available. This is the avatar with the PPC and Ultra Cannon 5. It's not my favorite avatar. Let's see. I got one Crusader part. I do like the Crusader. But probably the best option here is the Ion. Ooh, this is the Ion with LAC 5s. Yes. We're putting together the Ion. Because these LAC 5s, I'll probably pull these LAC 5s off this Ion and put something else on it. But those LAC 5s are really nice to have when you're building a Juggernaut and you just want as many weapons as possible. So I'll take those 3 Ion parts. Alright, before I take any more... there's the the Jaggermech. We got 3 parts of the Jaggermech. Here we go. Light AC5. Yes, we're going to take the light AC5 because that will give me, I think, like 6 LAC5s out of this mission. And LAC5s are great. Ion is a blank mech. Oh, fun mech. Yeah, the Avatar is a very nice mech as well. But I think the reason... I'm going to show you why I took that Ion very quickly here. So we're going to take the... we got Avatar parts, Centurion, Crusader, 3 Ion parts, and a Jaggermech part. Ultra Cannon 5. Ooh. Nice. I didn't even see those on the list. And then we got some light AC5s. Alright. Not bad. Not bad at all. But the light AC5s, that's the main reason I took that Ion, because the light AC5s are really good ACs when you're just looking for a little bit more firepower on an assault and you don't have the tonnage for a regular AC. So let's go to the mech bay and look at our new toys. Alright, let's see what we can put together. Alright, I can put this Ion R together. I like to go through the mech bay and figure out what I can put together before I start playing with them. That's the only thing I can put together, huh? Okay. So let's go to the Ion. So the Ion, this Ion has 1, 2, 3, 4 AC5s, LAC5s. Now the LAC5s, as you can see, have the same firepower as a regular AC. It has 60% of the tonnage. So these are great weapons that you can throw onto heavier mechs when you need to add a little bit more firepower. So I'm going to show you here. So we're going to take these light AC5s off of this Ion. Alright. Because they're going to be more useful. Now what I could do is I could just save this AC5 ammo, probably 3 tons. Yeah, they have slightly less range. So that's the big trade-off with the light AC5s versus the AC5s. But if you have an assault mech and you're just trying to add a little bit more firepower and you don't have enough tonnage for a full AC, that's where the light AC5s come in. So we're going to put in standard AC5s here. We'll put in AC5 there, AC5 there, and we're going to take large laser. I think we could do better with our energy weapons here than large lasers. Let's see. We can put in 2 ERPPCs, like so. This has double heat sinks. Let's take off a ton of AC ammo. So that gives us, let's see, 15 shots, 15 shots. So this gives us 15 rounds of AC ammo. That should be enough. And then what we're going to do is we're going to put in a 2 double heat sinks. Double heat sink there, double heat sink there. And then we're going to armor up. So I think that's still a very good Ion to have as a backup mech. It's not going to be a world killer. It's more of like a sniper build. Here it's showing as arena combat because that's what Ions were designed for arena combat. But this is still a very all-around solid mech, right? So let's take a look at our linemen here. Okay, our linemen. We have our Ultra Cannon 5, MRMs. Yeah, there's not much more I can do on this lineman, but we'll find an opportunity to use those. The Ion looks like it could headshot something. Oh yeah, for sure. That's a decent sniper build. So, but the real benefit is I'm trying to find a mech that has just a little bit of tonnage that we can use here. No, that wouldn't be the right mech. Maybe the Orion? Yeah, let's look at the Orion M. No, that only has one AC slot. I'm looking for something. I'm looking for a mech that will show you what I'm talking about. Shadowhawk, the Rifleman. Maybe the Rifleman. Let's take a look at the Rifleman here. So the Rifleman, we put an AC2 on this Rifleman because we didn't have the tonnage for anything else. Okay, so what if I take off the AC2, right? And now we can put on a light AC5. And then engine, light AC5, and then we just put in some ammo for the AC5. So I've actually greatly increased the firepower, the headshot ability of this AC, of this sniper, simply by putting in the light AC5. I couldn't have put in a regular AC, or I would have done so, but now that I have the light AC5, this gives me a lot more flexibility in this mech. So having some light AC5s available is really nice. Really nice. Let's see. We're already maxed out on armor. Alright, so I have 1 ton left. What can I put on this thing? Let's see. I could put a gyro defense and a guardian ECM. Well, I already have a guardian ECM. Never mind. Okay. There's got to be something I could put on this thing for that tonnage. Yeah, yeah, you're right. I probably only need that, but I have the tonnage for the AC, so I can take that off. There's just not another. Sometimes you hate this game. Why do you hate this game? I love this game. Let's see. I could put on a slave. That wouldn't really help us very much. I'm trying to find something to do with this extra tonnage on this mech. I could put it. I could put a Beagle probe on. Yeah, I could put a Beagle probe on. Oh, okay. When a Hetzer cores 2 of your mechs, I don't know how many times. So I think this is an upgrade to our Rifleman. It's going to get a lot more head kills just by adding that light AC5. Yeah. So the Hetzer. I don't know how many times I've had a Hetzer just ruin my life with those types of scenarios. All right, so let's navigate. I'm going to try to find a 4-skull planet because I feel like 3-skull planets aren't doing it for us anymore. At the same time, I'm hoping that the next mission for our Flashpoint is going to come into play here. All right, let's go to a 4-skull planet. They're all in bad habitats. We can go to Rollis here. That's a good chunk away, though, because I know that our Flashpoint is going to be in this area. Local government. Capellan. All right, this area is kind of in our area, so we'll just go to this Four Skull planet. I don't love Martian planets. Sure, Andre, I'll check that out. Yeah, Hetzers are one of those mechs that you always find yourself, are one of those vehicles that you say, it's just a Hetzer, and then they end up with an AC-20 and they wreck your day. We're going to spend some money to train a skewed one. Yep. That's a good use of our 100,000. No, I don't know. Don't care about the additional details on that Merc News broadcast. One of the problems of the Merc News broadcast is it's very cool when it first came out because it fits the timeline, but then after a while you're like, yeah, I've seen these 100 times. So I don't need to hear about what's going on with the Hans Davion Civil War, or FedCom Civil War technically, because I already know the lore. But those little things of lore that you get in the Merc News are very cool if you don't know the lore behind them. So those are useful. All right, high capacity conduits. All right, I was hoping we would continue our flashpoint, but maybe not today. Because if we get to this planet without the flashpoint happening, then I'm going to have to do a mission to pay our bills. And that'll probably be the end of our stream. But don't worry, because IMG should be around before 11 Eastern time in the US to take over for me. So you should still have plenty of Battletech Advanced even when I have to start work. As much as it makes me sad. All right. All right, we got an assassination mission. We've got to secure borders. Yeah, let's do the secure borders mission, because this should be some decent salvage. Alright, I feel like the Highlander and the Linesman is overpowered. So let's put the Highlander back in. We'll take Death from Above. We'll put our commander in that. Andre might take a mission off here. Let's go with our Disabler build, and we'll put... who should we put in our Disabler? We'll put... we can put Tortured Lemming in our Grasshopper, because it's an energy build. We're going to take our Sniper, now that we've upgraded it, for sure. Get Goggles some more headshots. We'll take the Shadowhawk, because I like to have the flexibility of that Inferno, Sniper Inferno armor. The Orion's going to be a little overkill here. So let's take the Wraith and keep Manticore in it, because I'm trying to train up Manticore to be a scout. So Linesman as our Brawler, Fire Support, another Brawler, Disabler, our Headshot Artist, our Shadowhawk, which I should rename. If anybody wants to come up with a name for our artillery mech in the message board, let me know. And I should give another name to this Wraith, but we'll do that after the mission. This will be the last mission for me on this stream, but IMG is going to be joining me shortly, and he's going to take over the stream, and he's going to give you 2 more hours of Battletech Advanced. So you don't have to go anywhere just because I'm ending my stream. Stay here, and you'll get at least another 2 hours of BTA with IMG, who is our reigning PvP Battletech champ. I strongly suggest somebody challenge, and you can use your channel points for this, challenge IMG to a PvP. Either you can beat him and take him down a peg, or if he squishes you, he might make me feel a little better. Although he likes to give me a hard time, but you know, our championship did go to the 5th round, and I feel like things could have really gone either way. He just happened to pick a strategy that worked really well against the lance that I dropped. So kind of a luck of the draw type of situation. Not taking anything away from him. I yielded fair and square. All right, so we got some reinforcements. So let's see if we can't get eyes on these reinforcements. We can. All right, so let's get eyes on these reinforcements. All right, we got a Templar, which, ooh, a Templar. Ooh, I love the Templar, and the Templar is really hard to come by. So we have a Templar, a Victor, an Atlas. So we are definitely seeing a lot of tonnage here. Right. All right. Statistics say we should go for the Victor, so let's go for the Victor. But we got some splash damage. Those are just the reinforcements, and there's 3 assaults. I may have dropped really light on this. Oh, and a Battle Master. Oh my gosh. 4 assaults as reinforcements. We definitely have our work cut out for us here. This is a classic case. I think this was a 4-skull mission. It's probably closer to like 6 when all things are said and done. Because we've got 4 assaults as reinforcements. We still have the primary enemy force that's going to be bearing down on us shortly. This is going to be this is going to be a nasty battle. I can already tell right now, but this is good salvage. I like every mech that's in this field, except for maybe the Victor. The Victor's probably the least interesting here. Alright, so let's see if we can start getting our headshot mech in position here. Alright, again, we're probably going to go for the Victor here because it's the least valuable salvage. Let's actually just get a tag on the Victor. Battle Master is your precious. I do love the Battle Master. Z-List A says, so any advice on someone trying to make it to a 1-star mission without getting cored, besides max armor as many mechs as possible? So, Z-List, are you relatively new to Battletech Advanced? Because I feel like you're having growing pains from regular Battletech to modded Battletech. That's the feeling that I'm getting. I don't know that for sure. That's just the vibe that I'm getting, is that you're relatively new to Battletech Advanced, and there's just a steep learning curve. So if you're new, Xylist, don't be afraid to restart a couple times. So you're on a level, what I would do is I would restart. Xylist, I would restart, and then I would tell me what your starting settings are, because I would recommend that you start in Davion space. It's the easiest start for a new person to the game. And then you should also, when you first get into the game, instead of taking missions on the first planet that you land on, look for a half skull planet that's close to you and just travel to the half skull planet and start at the half skull, not the full skull planet. That's probably the best advice I can give you. Do a restart. Everybody who does Battletech Advanced restarts a couple times once they get their... You'll get your feel for the game if you just restart a couple times. And then I would go to a half skull planet and start your missions. Don't go start at a one skull planet. Go to a half skull planet to start. So, what starting point did you start out in Davion space? Because Davion space is the most forgiving start point. 40 times so far. I understand your frustrations, Xylus. Did you start in Davion space yet? If you haven't done Davion space, I would suggest you start in Davion space because it's actually the easiest place to start in the whole map. I think you're just having some bad luck, and you have to maximize evasion early on. Well, see, Moon Prime, I would actually disagree with you. I would, if I'm starting out and I'm a new pilot, I would probably pick the option that gives you the Battletech Advanced team as your I would take the BTA team as your pilots. That's something I would do personally. If I was starting out, I would take the BTA team as my pilots. But Big Fluffy, the extra mech only helps you for a couple missions. Taking the BTA team gives you good pilots throughout your playthrough. So that's what I would recommend for new players, is you start out in Davion space and you give yourself really easy settings and you take BTA as your pilots, as your bonus choice. Ouch, my Shadowhawk's going to get beaten up here. I didn't know we were facing all assaults when I pushed my Shadowhawk up. So we're going to have to pull our Shadowhawk back into its fire support role here. Alright, Shadowhawk, you are moving back. Alright, which mech is the best mech for us to overheat? It's definitely going to be the Battle Master because it's an energy build and we're on a Martian planet, so that'll probably cause the Battle Master to kill itself, which is sad, but I don't think we can help it. Yeah, I mean, there's lots of different ways to skin the cat when you're starting this new. So, for example, right now I'm going to start working on flanking these assaults with my Wraith. Because if I get my Wraith into the rear of these mechs, even though they're assaults, eventually I can actually core these assaults even with just mediums, with medium lasers. Yeah, T-Bone is Sniper Gold. Yeah, Xylist, I would start out in Davion space. I would definitely go with Davion space. All right, so we can start headshotting here. So I'm going to start headshotting the Templar here because the Templar is very rare. And I like the Templar quite a bit. So let's go for headshots on the Templar here. We'll see how much extra punch that light AC5 gives us over the AC2s. We should get a lot more headshot success now. Alright, death from above. Alright. Oh, here comes the primary enemy force, which is only mediums, it looks like. So, alright, let's get some fast cam around that Templar. Yeah, that's why I would definitely go with House Davion. In my experience, House Davion is the easiest start because you can actually fight the Capellans a lot, which are softer opponents, and then you can also fight House Kurita, which is, I would argue, a softer opponent. So that's just my recommendation. All right, let's push up our Brawler. Ew, no. Okay, you don't like House Davion? Then go with Merrick. I wouldn't go with Steiner because then you end up fighting the clans earlier than you probably should. So if you don't like House Davion, then I would go with House Merrick as your start. You know, I'm just if you have an opposition due to lore to House Davion, then I would go with the Capellans. Not the Capellans, sorry, the Merrick, House Merrick. Or you could just keep brawling it out in the periphery, but the periphery start, even though you're used to it because that's what you played in the base game, is actually a harder start than playing in the inner sphere. Alright, linesman. Heat's going to be a problem here. Let's see if we can quickly get rid of this Victor. There we go. Got rid of that Victor. Nice and quick. And only one part. So that's the perfect outcome there because I like the Victor less than I like all these other assaults. Yeah, no, those are good starts, Moon Prime, but they still aren't easy. I would, if he doesn't like House Davion, I would say he should restart House Merrick and travel to a half skull planet to start. And then he's going to have some good success. You know, everybody who's on this stream has had their butt kicked when they went from regular Battletech to BTA because it's a much different experience. So don't feel like it's... Yeah, so Xylus, that's where you do a restart. You're set up for failure there, so I would just do a restart in House Merrick space and start out at a half skull planet. Oh, the Atlas killed itself. Man. That's really unusual, Xylist, I have to say. I think you're just having some bad luck. Try the fresh start in Merrick space, and then let me know how it goes. Feel free to reach out on our Discord for help. I'll be happy to give you as much help as possible. So please check out our Discord. And you could direct message me at any time and ask for help. I'm happy to do that for you. But I think House Merrick is going to be your best option, as I said. Yeah, I wouldn't take House Steiner as a new player personally, because that puts you in a position where you're fighting the clans too early, in my opinion. But hey, that's just me. I'm trying to set him up for some success here because clearly Xylist is frustrated. Alright, who do I want to overheat here? I want to keep overheating the Battle Master. So let's try to overheat the Battle Master again. Oh, I hit the engine on the Battle Master. Oh, that was just bad luck. Oh, 3 parts. Okay, I could live with 3 parts of the Battle Master. That's not bad. That's not bad at all. Considering I hit the engine, I feel pretty happy to get 3 parts of the Battle Master there. Yeah, do not do attack the convoy missions ever. Unless you have no other choice, because attack the convoy missions 9 times out of, I would say 9.5 out of 10 times, I would not take an ambush convoy mission. Alright, good hit on the Templar. Alright, so here comes the other enemy force. So what I'm actually going to do now is I'm going to put our last round of fast cam around this Templar. And then I'm going to have my rifleman and my Shadowhawk focus on the Templar, and then the rest of my mechs are going to start working on the primary target. Because I want the rifleman to have as many shots at that Templar as we can to maximize salvage. Yeah, don't do the attack convoy missions. They are just brutal. You end up with a lot more damage than the benefit. You know, in regular Battletech, attack convoy missions are not that bad, but in Battletech Advanced, they are the worst. So it's just going to take some trial and error for you, but I promise you it's worth it. You're just going to have to do some trial and error to maximize your chance. It takes a lot of patience, but I think starting in House Merrick with a half skull is going to be a good place to have a successful start. Alright, Templar's overheating. I'm going to have our Firestorm keep the Templar mech busy and overheated, and then we're going to have our Riflemen focus on taking headshots on the Templar. Yep, tanks are much tougher in BTA. Yeah, I mean, the difficulty level is much higher in BTA in general, in every sense of the word. Alright, let's see if we can... Yeah, alright. So we're going to do one more Inferno round on the Templar. Try to keep him overheated. let's move our Wraith to start attacking the primary threat here. What do we got? We got a Rifleman. Regular Rifleman. Alright, might as well do some laser spam on that Rifleman. Alright, we got a 65-tonner. Yeah, the reinforcements... So basically, they set this mission up as a trap when you think about it. So you were supposed to engage the heavy lance, and then the assaults were going to come in as reinforcements and really ruin your day. Kind of interesting how it worked out that way. But fortunately, we got dropped where we could engage the reinforcements first. Alright, let's keep taking precision strikes at the head of this Templar. I'd really like to get 4 parts of this Templar if we can. No, no luck there. So, Xylus, you feel the firepower of the tanks is the biggest threat. Yeah, I understand what you're saying. I do. I mean, this game can be frustrating, and all I can suggest is what we suggested as far as going with an easier start. And I think you'll get less frustrated over time. I know lots of people who have started out with this game. Thank you for the hydration, Simmons. And it's always rough in the beginning. Yeah, I know, Xylus, if you played the base game, you're used to just stomping an enemy vehicle with one hit, but it doesn't happen in BTA very often. Even weapons carriers, which are supposed to have light armor, still sometimes take 1 or 2 stomps. Or 2 or 3 stomps, I should say, to finish them off. Let's see. I need to get my Firestorm out of that heat. I don't know if we're going to be able to shoot anything here. Let's see. Nope. We can shoot the tag just to give ourselves a better chance at the headshot there. Posture check. All right, posture check, posture check. Was I slumping? No, do not encourage him to do the battle armor start. IMG. Xylus is really having a hard time. The Deep Periphery Bounty Hunter up-engine dropship is the start I go with. I think that's your problem, Xylus. That is a hard starting point. That is the type of starting point that an experienced BTA person would do. So I would go with an easier starting point. There's no way around it. That's the biggest thing I can suggest. Yep. There's nothing wrong with starting with an easy start at the beginning. So I would do House Merrick or House Davion and travel to a half skull planet, and you're going to be just fine. You're setting yourself up with a very hard start. That's oh, the Templar exploded. Oh man. All those assaults, and I'm only going to get a couple parts. That's too bad. That is too bad, guys. We had 4 assaults on the table, and we're going to get just a couple parts because they kept exploding because I'm on a Martian environment and everything overheats and kills itself. That's frustrating. we got another avatar. Ooh, it's the OD. I like the OD avatar because it comes with those MRMs. Ooh, that's good salvage there. Ooh, Jagger Mech. Okay. Alright, we got... Oh. Again, my Shadowhawk. Good thing this Shadowhawk has lots of armor on it. Because it's the artillery Shadowhawk. Alright, Goggles. What can you go after here? See, even though it's a good distance away, the light AC-5s can still shoot at most of the map. Let's see. What do I want parts of the most? Probably the Jagger Mech. So let's go for headshots on the Jagger Mech. The Jagger Mech is also very vulnerable to headshots, as you can see there. We just got 4 parts of a Jagger Mech. Yay! The Jagger Mech is very vulnerable to headshots. Very vulnerable. You have to remember that too when you're playing in a Jagger Mech. Although the enemy doesn't do as many headshots as you will do, you're still vulnerable in a Jagger Mech. So one of the things you could do to minimize that is have a reinforced cockpit on a Jagger Mech. That will help reduce the chances of a headshot. Alright, let's go for the center torso on this Rifleman because I want to just kill it without getting a lot of parts of the Rifleman. So we're going for the center torso here, trying to get a kill, engine kill, so we only get 1 mech part out of the Rifleman. Nice. IMG is going to be taking over after I complete this mission. And he's going to give you a couple hours of Battletech Advanced on his playthrough, which is more advanced than mine because I did a restart early, more recently. So IMG with Xylist as a relatively new starter of Battletech Advanced. He only started a week ago. He's getting frustrated, so try to explain some of your strategy as much as possible on your stream. Yep, IMG also did the Battle Armor Start, which is about as hard as you can get. So, hats off to him for being insane. Let's do Precision Strike here on the Chameleon. See, this is about where they should just call down their Leopard and retreat. They have no chance for victory. And those mechs are worth a lot of money. Oh, we already know you are crazy, IMG. Anybody who does a stream just to show that they're eating a salad. IMG, I postulated that you actually use some CGI to give the impression that you ate the salad. I think there was some CGI involved. I don't think there was an actual salad. I think he was actually eating a cheeseburger that he made to look like a salad with a little help from AI. A little CGI turned his cheeseburger into a salad. That's my belief. I'm sticking with it. He is sneaky. Anybody who plays him in PvP knows he's sneaky. See, I think he's in denial a little too much, folks. Alright. Alright. Let's keep going for precision strikes on the head of that avatar. Oh, I hate these Martian planets. One salvageable part of the chameleon. That's good, because I probably want to focus on all those assault parts that I got and the avatar as salvage. So that works out well for me. Out, Shadowhawk. Gotta pull that Shadowhawk back. Ooh, that avatar is overheating already. Alright, let's push up with our linesman. Oh, we got a head hit. Alright, okay. Let's pull back that Shadowhawk a little bit. And use some Inferno, because that avatar is already running hot. Let's see if we can make it hotter. Drop it like it's hot. That's okay, Andre. Just do the best you can. I'm sure your Irby is going to look really cool. I'm excited about seeing what you can do with it. Precision strike, go for the head. The avatar already has a little bit of damage to the head. Not much, but a little. Let's see if we can get a head kill here. Nope. Yeah, we gotta drop it like it's hot. Not going to kill myself picking this avatar apart. If we get it, oh, there we go. There's the engine. Avatars are sometimes hard to get. Ooh, we got 3 parts of the avatar. Not bad. Okay, so we got a bunch of assault salvage here, because we got jumped by a lance of reinforcing assaults. IMG, when was the last time you saw a assault lance sent as reinforcements to help a medium lance? Definitely unusual, unless they wanted it to be a trap, which is my theory. All right, we got no injuries. We actually got no structural damage whatsoever. All right, so we got an Atlas part. We got 3 Battlemaster parts. We're definitely taking those. I love the Battlemaster. Oh wait, no. Okay, so here's the problem. So we have a Templar. Templars are extremely rare, so I have to take the Templar parts first. Templars are very rare. Much more rare than the Battlemaster. So we're going to take the Templar parts, even though that's not going to help us right now. We'll take the Battlemaster parts. And let's see what else we get. Battlemaster. Nice. Chameleon, Jaggermech, Templar. Okay, and that's about it. So We got 6 assault parts. We got a couple heavy parts. So, not bad salvage. Not bad salvage at all. Alright, let me just see if there's anything we can put together in the mech bay, and then I'm going to hand things over to IMG for some more Battletech Advanced. You don't have to leave the dial. But I should remind you to, if you haven't already, please join our Discord. We're in the process of building our community out, and each person who joins our Discord obviously adds to the depth of our Discord. So please check it out and give us an ad on the Discord. I will look at that, Andre. Don't worry. I'll look at that today and get back to you. I will not forget. All right, we need some mech warrior training. We'll do that off camera. Let's see if we put something together. I wish you could look in storage and see what mech parts you have when you're selecting storage. Okay, so I can put together a Jagger Mech S. Am I excited about that? I don't like the Jagger Mech S very much. So I'm actually going to keep the Jagger Mech parts in here. So eventually I can build the Double D, which I really like a lot better. So that's what we'll do there. All right, on that note, I'm going to end my stream. IMG will be on in about 2 minutes. So if you just wait in the chat lobby, or the chat, not the chat lobby. How old am I? If you just hang out in the chat for about 2 minutes, IMG will be starting his stream. And enjoy some quality time with IMG. He's going to give you at least 2 more hours of Battletech Advanced. I will see you myself at 9 a.m. Eastern Time. I may try to do a bonus stream this afternoon if I can get away from work. And by that I mean if I don't have to work extra hours. So if I get off on time, I can try to do a bonus stream this afternoon. If not, I will see you tomorrow. Talk to you later.